back with another episode of the Mark Rod podcast. Now, I don't have a guest today. Today, I am flying solo, and I wanted to explain a little bit about why I'm flying solo. Now, when I started this podcast, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what it was that I wanted it to be. And I've had a podcast before. It was called the No Limits Podcast, and that was very much focused on telling inspiring stories, which was great. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of incredible guests on there, but I wanted to do more. And I think because I felt a little bit trapped in a niche, it made it harder for me uh, to be consistent with it and to keep getting guests and to keep finding guests and to keep telling stories. So this time around, when I rebranded and relaunched the podcast, I wanted to kind of take the restrictions off it. I didn't want it to be about anything in particular, as in I didn't want to carve out a niche like telling inspiring stories. I wanted to do everything. I wanted to meet incredible people. I wanted to tell incredible stories. I wanted to talk about the military. I wanted to talk about being a veteran. I wanted to talk about jiu-jitsu. I wanted to talk about personal development mindset. I wanted to talk about life as a triple amputee and living with a disability. I wanted to talk about everything. Right? I didn't want to niche myself. Now, this is only the second episode. I don't know if this will work. I'll just see how it goes and I'll test and adjust. But what I've realized over the years, particularly on social media and when listening to other people's podcasts, is people really want to know about you and your personality and parts of your life and challenges and funny stories and the way you think and your mindset and all those cool things. So I kind of just took the restrictions off of everything and thought I'm just going to do what I want to do when I feel like doing it. And if it hits and it lands with people and it resonates, happy days. If it doesn't, I'll continue doing it because by doing it this way, it's much more enjoyable for me. And if it's much more enjoyable for me, it means that I'm going to do it even when I don't feel like doing it. And today, all I really wanted to do, this probably is not even going to last 10 minutes, but all I really wanted to do was tell a story because in my life, I've been fortunate enough to have some incredible experiences and collect a whole bunch of stories. Some of those stories are happy, some of those stories are sad, but some of those stories are funny. And today, what I'd like to do is very quickly just share a funny story with you. And it's a unique story. It's unique to me and my situation in my life. But I think and I hope that you'll all find some humor in this. Now, this story goes back a couple of years ago now. Now, in the UK, I get my prosthetics made in Guildford in a place called Proactive Prosthetics. And I live in Plymouth. So it's a good 3.5, maybe 4 hour drive. And sometimes it requires an overnight stay in a hotel. And on this particular occasion, I think I was getting recasted for new sockets. I was getting a whole bunch of work done on my alignment and the settings in my legs. So it was a couple of days that I was going to be away from home. And I was staying in a hotel. I won't say the name of the hotel, but if you don't get a good sleep there, you get your money back in the morning. And so I think most of you will know which chain of hotels that is. But I was staying in the hotel and I had finished my day's work at the prosthetic center. I'd gone back, I had dinner, and I had got ready for bed. Now, at this particular time in my life, I was training for an event. I forget what event it was, but I was training for it, and I had started, after reading a book called The Oxygen Advantage, I had started taping my mouth shut when I was going to sleep at night, because I was trying to encourage nasal breathing, which after reading the book, I found out had a whole heap of benefits to it. Not only making you fitter and being more functional and effective with your breathing, but there was a whole bunch of health benefits that came with it. So I was going through this phase of taping my mouth closed at night so that while I was asleep, I was only breathing through my nose. I was also quite hot on sleep hygiene at that point in my life. So I would at home, my entire top floor of my house has blackout blinds in it. But when I traveled, I took a face mask with me, like the one that you get issued when you're on a plane. But I had invested in a much better one, so no light came in through the sides and it didn't twist around when I turned over in my sleep. So I had my mouth taped closed and I had a mask on. And then I went to bed. Nothing unusual about that. Around about 3 o'clock in the morning, I hear these two huge bangs. And then what I assumed was my hotel door flying open, smashing into the wall, and then numerous people walking in my room. Now, you've got to imagine, right? Like I said, my eyes are covered, my mouth's taped shut. I also, when I sleep, sleep au naturel. So I don't have any pajamas on. And then I hear these bangs and what I assume was my door being kicked open. So I wake up in a state of shock and panic and start to try to talk to see what's going on. I can't see anything because everything's so black because of the mask I've got on. So then I start trying to talk, and obviously with my mouth taped shut, all that really came out was Within seconds, I kind of realized, I was like, oh yeah, you've got your mouth taped shut and you've got a mask on. So I tore the tape off my mask, off my mouth, ripped the mask off my face. And in front of me were 3 police officers, 2 female, 1 male. And now you've got to look at this from their point of view as well. I'm also, like I said, au naturel. And I have 2 missing legs and a missing arm. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. My door's just been kicked in. And these police officers have came into the room and they're confronted with a triple amputee in his birthday suit, with his mouth taped shut, with a mask on his face, in a hotel room on his own. So I don't know what they were thinking. But anyway, I took the tape off, took the mask off, and I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you here? And they said, is your name Mark? And I said, yes. What's happened? They said, there's been an incident with a woman. Now, I'm still kind of in the shock of capture phase. And I quickly realised that I was in Guildford and I wasn't in Plymouth. And then I started panicking, thinking back to my wife and my daughters and, you know, what's happened? What's happened to my family? And then I thought, well, how are they going to know who I am and that I'm in this hotel when I'm from Plymouth, but I'm in Guildford? And it was very confusing, as I'm sure you can imagine. Anyway, they went on to tell me that in a lot of these hotels that I won't name, there are pubs and restaurants attached to the side. And a gentleman had come out of the pub and the restaurant. I think he had been drinking, and he had assaulted his wife or girlfriend or partner. And whoever witnessed the incident, all they told the police was that the lady was shouting, "Stop it, Mark, stop it." So they've obviously come into the hotel room, looked at the hotel guest list and the manifest, found the first mark that they could find on that guest list and manifest, and then proceeded to find my room and boot my door in. Needless to say, they had the wrong room and they had the wrong person. I was just an innocent triple amputee trying to improve his fitness and get a good night's sleep whilst spending numerous days at a prosthetic clinic getting his leg fixed. Completely innocent, caught in the crosshairs of a misunderstanding on their part. But as irritating as that was, it was also very funny because I thought to myself, and by the way, these police officers didn't even apologize. Once they knew it wasn't me and it was the wrong person, they just literally turned around, walked out, and closed the door behind them. But they must have gone back to their hotel room, pardon me, the police station that night, and got amongst their colleagues and said, listen, you're never going to believe what we've just done and what we've just seen. So I kind of found the humor in it. Wasn't that mad. Got up the next day, got on with my life, got my legs fixed, went home and told my wife and my friends that story. But I just wanted to share it with you guys and you girls, because like I said, I didn't know what I wanted to do with this podcast when I first started it. And there are some funny things that are quite unique, I think, to my life that happen and have happened over the years. And I've never really talked about it because all the podcasts that I do as a guest, I'm always rehashing my story and talking about that. But I want to do more than that now. I want to unleash a little bit of my personality and a bit more of my life on the world. I'm going to do it on social media too. But this is a great platform because I literally came in my office, just flicked the laptop on, plugged the mic in, and then proceeded to wax lyrical. So it was only 11 minutes, 12 minutes. I just thought I'd share it with you. I hope you enjoyed it. As these stories come back to mind, if I'm in the right place to do so, I will again open the laptop, plug in the mic, and proceed to share it with you. Thank you all for listening. I hope I brought a smile to your face. I hope I brought a bit of joy to your life. Thank you for tuning in, for listening, for subscribing, for supporting me on social media, for doing everything that you do this year in 2025. I'm going to be doing a lot more content, a lot more sharing, and I'd love for more and more and more of you to be with me on that journey. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you have a great day, and thank you as always for your support.